You might have shrimp, but do you have shrimp in your kitchen sink shrimp? I'll explain. So you may be asking, how does one end up with shrimp in their kitchen sink? Well, let me explain. So I was cleaning out a whole bunch of plants. You see, even though I have a website and I'm selling plants every week and I'm cutting out plants and selling shrimp and shipping out stuff every week, I still make way more plants than I grow of some things. So when that happens, it's either throw away some of these plants that are not quite as clean or nice, or find someone to give them to, or send them to for shipping. And that's what I've done. So the Rotala in this case, have been sitting in this bucket for a couple days, and I was rinsing them off the duckweed in the sink, and that's how you end up with shrimp in your sink. Look at this. There's even shrimp here in the bucket. Now, all the Rotala I pulled out of here come from my Skittles tank and my Blue Velvet tank. So there's going to be a lot of blue ones. There's a lot of shrimp in here. Oh, man. There's a red one. That one was from the Skittles. There's little babies in here, too. It's amazing how these shrimp populate. So let's see. I can't say I've ever done this before. Catching a shrimp in my sink. That's cool. So we can get this other one over here. Yeah. Oh, no. He escaped. There we go. All right. Is there any more? We've got these two guys right here. There's some down here in the bucket I still got to get. And so the main point of this video is I want to show you guys some tips and stuff that I've learned along the way of shipping plants, because we've all had times where our plants are overgrown and you're just like, dang, I ain't got nothing to do with it, and you end up just throwing it away, and that sucks. So you can find friends and stuff. I mean, even if you don't know anyone in your area, you can always find someone online who's willing to take free plants for shipping. So instead of, I used to feel horrible. I used to throw out all kinds of plants. I know I threw out like 4 years worth of growth of Anubias one time, and it made me sick. So now I always try to find some people. I know 5 or 6 other friends I've made along the way that have lots of big fish rooms, and many of my plants are from free plants I've got or traded with from friends of mine through the course of the years. And so this is a good way to spread the hobby and to not throw away or waste plants. So this is how it all started out. Jeff over at Pelham's Aquatics was saying, because all my dirty moss, when I do all my tank resets, I separate all the good moss and put my moss pond. Then the moss that has even has a little bit of algae in it. Some of it's a lot of algae, some of it's just a little bit of algae. He said his black mollies would love it. So instead of throwing it in the trash, I said I'd ship it to him. So he ended up ordering some shrimp on my website, and that covered shipping. And so now I'm going to send him. I'm sure he'll make a video about all this dirty moss. And I did, for always being a supporter of the channel. And I sent him some nice Anubias that I need to get rid of, and some nice big mermaid weed, and some super red Ludwigia. It's growing in a 75-gallon under that bright light. I think he'll like it. So I have the moss here in a bag, and it'd probably be all right, but you got to keep in mind shipping and weight. So the first thing you do if you're shipping a whole bunch of plants, always use flat rate shipping, and that's what I'm doing here. So I don't have to worry about being judicious with the water. No, you can wrap them up in wet paper towels, but I find it's easier. You just use flat rate shipping. And you still don't want the box being super heavy. So then this is gonna be hard to film. And you just put just a little bit of water in there. Not much at all, really. And you can do this with stem plants too, but you got to be careful as you push it in a little bit, push the air out, so then the water comes all the way up here. So then you get all your leaves mostly covered. Say if this was a stem plant, of course with moss you're fine, but even with stem plants you're fine. So like I said, flat rate shipping if you're going to use this method. If you're worried about saving weight, you need to use wet paper towels and that stuff. But I'm using flat rate shipping. And so you still don't want it being a great big box that's a brick of water, because then it'll be more apt to break. And so this is what I got about 2 or 3 more of these like this of moss that has algae in it for Jeff and his black mollies. And so here's the final count. 3 full bags of dirty moss, 2 bags of Anubias. I noticed this bag was acting weird. It didn't get tied right, so I double bagged it. And we've got 3 full bags of Rotala. Holy smokes, that's a lot of Rotala. And we got some really nice mermaid weed and some really nice Ludwigia. Alrighty. So this is what I ended up coming up with, and this ended up being one of my most extensive packing jobs. So we got the great big bags of plants loaded up along the outside, inside of a flat rate box. Then I have there is a bag of shrimp in here and insulation. So at the bottom of this big box, there's a heat pack, and then there's a layer of insulation, then there's a layer of plants, and then there's a bag of shrimp, then another layer of insulation, and then this box is closed up, and then the last thing we got to do is close up the big box and go to the post office. So hopefully with some of the tips and things I've showed you here just a little bit, shipping plants is really no big deal. It really isn't that scary. I mean, I know before I started doing this, like, oh my God, that seems so sketchy, shipping shrimp and plants through the mail. And once you get used to doing it and you get a method down that works for you, it's really not so bad. So hopefully you guys, instead of throwing out plants, maybe this video will help you guys save some plants and find someone who wants them. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.